for your highest moment. You wake up every morning feeling exhausted. Life seems heavy. The bills keep piling up. The responsibilities feel endless. And it seems like no matter how hard you try, nothing changes. Maybe yesterday, someone doubted you. Maybe last week you failed at something you thought you couldn't fail at. Maybe right now your heart is broken from loss, disappointment, or rejection. You look at the mirror and wonder, why me? Why am I going through this? It's in these moments when the weight feels unbearable that most people give up. Most people let their struggles define them. But what if I told you, your pain is not your enemy? What if I told you that every ache, every tear, every moment of despair has a hidden purpose that is quietly shaping you into the person you were always meant to be? Think about a seed buried deep under the soil. From the outside, it looks lifeless, stuck, trapped in darkness. If you were looking at it from above, you might think it's never going to grow. It's stuck there forever. But underneath the surface, the seed is growing roots. It's breaking down barriers, pushing through soil, fighting against gravity itself. Its struggle is invisible, silent, and difficult. But without that struggle, it could never break the surface, could never reach the sunlight. That seed is you right now. The seed is you right now. Your struggles, your pain, your failures, they are the roots forming beneath the surface. They are preparing you for growth that is inevitable if you do not quit. Look around you. Every person you admire, every person who seems to have it all together, has been through the fire. They were once afraid, tired, hopeless. They failed. Hopeless, they failed. They were rejected. They cried themselves to sleep. They wondered if life would ever get better. But here's the truth. Those moments of struggle were the exact moments that were building their strength, shaping their character, and preparing them for what was ahead. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation. It's God's way of taking the raw material of your life and sculpting it into something magnificent.
It's God's way, it's taking it in something magnificent.
Without struggle, there is no growth. Without challenges, there is no depth. Without pain, your heart would never expand to its full capacity to love, to empathize, to persevere. Think about the times you were hurt the most. Maybe it was when a friendship ended, a dream failed, or someone you loved left. At that moment, it probably felt like your world was ending. But over time, you realized those moments taught you lessons that nothing else could teach. They taught you about resilience, about boundaries, about valuing yourself. They showed you who you are when no one is watching, when life is not easy. That is the magic of purpose in pain. Every difficult day, every sleepless night, every failure, every heartbreak is a teacher. You may not see the lesson immediately, but it is there, working quietly in the background, shaping your mind, your spirit, and your destiny. Even in the simplest daily moments, this is true. The person standing in a long line at the grocery store, the single parent juggling 3 jobs, the student failing an exam, they all have a story of pain, of struggle, of invisible battles. And yet, it is precisely that struggle that will one day become their strength. That moment of frustration in traffic, the humiliation of failure, the loneliness of being misunderstood, these moments refine you. They make you more patient, more grateful, more resilient. Pain forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. It forces you to discover strengths you didn't know existed. It forces you to rely on something greater than yourself, to trust in God's timing, and to believe that even when it doesn't make sense, there is a reason. You may be going through your own version of this right now. Maybe your career is stuck, maybe your relationship is falling apart, maybe you feel invisible, unheard, unimportant. Let me remind you, none of it is wasted. God is not ignoring you. He is not absent. Every moment you feel pain, every tear you cry, every struggle you face is part of your transformation. It's the invisible work happening beneath the surface. It's the roots of your future greatness forming quietly, steadily, and powerfully. One day, all this struggle will make sense. One day, the pieces of your life will align. One day, the pain that feels unbearable now will become the story you tell others to inspire them, to give them hope, to remind them that God's purpose is always working, even in the darkest moments. So, when you feel like giving up, remember this: pain is not meaningless, failure is not final, heartbreak is not the end. Every struggle has a purpose, every difficulty is a lesson, every tear is watering the roots of your growth. You are being prepared for something bigger, something stronger, something extraordinary. Just like the seed breaks through the soil and reaches for the sun, you too will rise. Your pain is temporary, but its purpose is eternal. Hold on, fight, believe. God is using every struggle to shape the masterpiece that is your life. You are not broken. You are being built. Every day, your mind talks to you. It whispers doubts, insecurities, fears, and lies. It tells you, you can't do this, you'll never be enough, it's too hard, or even, why bother trying? These thoughts can feel real, overwhelming, and convincing. You start believing them. You let them dictate your mood, your actions, your confidence. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to surrender, not to circumstances, but to your own mind. But here's a truth that can change everything. Your thoughts are not your reality, and they are not stronger than your spirit. You are far stronger than the stories your mind is telling you. Think about it for a moment. Every fear your mind has ever created, every worry that has ever kept you awake, has been only half of the truth. You survived yesterday's fears, you survived last week's doubts, and you survived last year's failures. If your mind was stronger than you wouldn't be here today. You would have already given up long ago. Yet here you are, breathing, trying, showing up again despite the doubts, despite the anxiety, despite the lies. That is proof. Proof that you are stronger than your thoughts, that your heart and spirit are capable of far more than your mind wants you to believe. Look around in daily life. Think about the mother who works tirelessly to provide for her children while fighting her own insecurities. Her mind tells her, I'm not enough. Her body is exhausted. Her emotions are stretched thin.
But still, she rises every morning. She cooks. She cleans. She works. She supports. She loves. She supports. She loves. And she does all of it, even when her mind says she can't.
That is the power of being stronger than your thoughts. You can feel tired, afraid, and doubtful, but the action you take, despite those thoughts, is what proves your strength. Even in the small moments, this truth shows itself. A student sitting at a desk thinking, I'm not smart enough to pass this exam, who then spends hours studying, practicing, and persevering, is stronger than the lie in their mind. A person training for a marathon who doubts their endurance but keeps running every day, step by step, despite the voice inside that says, you'll never make it, is stronger than the thought trying to hold them back. Strength is not the absence of fear or doubt. It is the courage to act despite them. Your thoughts often focus on what could go wrong, on all the obstacles, on every possible failure. But your heart, your soul, and your faith in yourself are louder. They tell you, Keep going. You can do this. One step at a time. And when you listen to that voice instead of the negative voice in your head, you start to realize something incredible. Your mind is not a cage. It is a tool that can be trained, challenged, and redirected. Your mind can work for you, or it can work against you, but it is not stronger than the force within you that refuses to quit. There are moments in life when the mind feels like a storm, raging with worry, anxiety, and fear. Perhaps it's the fear of losing your job, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of the unknown. In those moments, it feels impossible to take another step. But even then, remember, storms pass.
I feel overwhelming, but they cannot destroy the roots of your inner strength. You have survived every storm before this one.
You have overcome every doubt, every disappointment, and every obstacle that once felt insurmountable. Your strength is greater than the loudest voice in your mind, even if it tries to convince you otherwise. Think about how many times you have doubted yourself in the past. How many times did your mind scream, "You can't," and yet you proved it wrong? You walked across the stage when your mind said you wouldn't graduate. You finished the project when your mind said it was impossible. You got out of bed on the hardest days when your mind said stay down. Each victory, no matter how small, is proof that your spirit is stronger than your thoughts. Every act of courage in daily life, rising after failure, trying after rejection, loving after heartbreak, is a demonstration of this power. And here's the most important truth. Every time you act despite your negative thoughts, you weaken their hold over you. You teach your mind that it doesn't get to control you, that it is a tool for strategy, not a dictator of your destiny. Every small step of courage, every decision to persist, every moment you refuse to believe the lies in your head, these build an unstoppable force within you. Your mind may try to convince you of your limitations, but your actions, your faith, and your perseverance will always outshine it. So, when the negative thoughts come, and they will, pause. Recognize them, name them, and then step forward. Anyway, take that step, make that call, finish that task, keep moving toward your dream. Each step is a victory. Each small triumph is proof that your strength is greater than the voice of doubt. The mind may whisper, but your heart, your soul, and your spirit scream louder, and that is where true power lives. Never forget, you are stronger than your thoughts. You are stronger than your doubts, your fears, and the lies your mind tells you. You have the power to rise, to act, to create, and to persevere. You have already proven it countless times, and every single day you continue to prove it again. Your mind may try to hold you back, but your inner strength will always push you forward. Believe it, feel it, live it, live it, live it. Live it and watch as your life transforms because you refuse to be defeated by your own thoughts. Sometimes life feels like a blank wall in front of you. You try, you pray, you put your heart and soul into something, and yet nothing seems to move. You wonder why your efforts aren't showing results, why doors remain closed, why dreams feel distant. You start thinking that maybe nothing is happening at all, that all your hard work, all your struggles, all your sacrifices are in vain. But here is a truth that can change everything. God is working, even when you cannot see it. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening.
The universe, life, and God's plans are quietly aligning in your favor, behind the scenes, preparing something extraordinary that you are not yet ready to witness. Think about a farmer planting seeds.
He doesn't see the moment the roots start growing. the soil being nourished, or the tiny sprouts forming underground. All he sees is dirt. He waters the soil, trusts the process, and waits. Days pass, weeks pass, the sun shines, the rain falls, and then one morning, a tiny green sprout bursts through the soil. The farmer smiles, knowing that every moment of care, every drop of water, every patient day mattered, even when nothing seemed visible. Your life works the same way. God is watering the seeds of your efforts, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The growth is happening beneath the surface, silently, steadily, and powerfully. In daily life, this is easier to see than we realize. Consider a student preparing for exams, feeling overwhelmed with books, notes, and deadlines. Every study session may feel like it's not enough. Every late night might feel wasted. Yet, when the results come, everything makes sense. All the hours of effort, all the moments of self-doubt, and all the struggles behind the scenes suddenly reveal themselves as part of the preparation that led to success. God works like this in our lives. Even when we can't measure it or see it, He is aligning opportunities, shaping our hearts, and guiding our steps toward what is meant for us. Or think about a person who has faced heartbreak. Maybe a relationship ended, a friendship failed, or a business collapsed. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. It felt unfair, painful, and confusing. But months later, a new opportunity appears, a new relationship grows, or a new career path opens up. Today, let us dive into this truth. In hindsight, you realize that everything that hurt you was setting you up for something better, something stronger, something that matches your true purpose. God's work is often invisible, but it is always real. The struggles and setbacks are not signs of abandonment. They are signs that the preparation is happening even in the quiet moments. Even in the simplest moments, God is working. The act of learning patience while waiting in line, the act of staying calm under pressure at work, but the act of showing kindness to someone who doesn't deserve it. These small, unnoticed acts are shaping your character, preparing your heart for bigger challenges and greater blessings. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, compassion over anger, and hope over despair, you are participating in God's invisible work. You may not see the results immediately, but every good choice is a step toward the life God is creating for you. It is also important to remember that God's timing is not the same as ours. We want immediate results, we want clear signs, we want proof. But God works on a timeline that is perfect, even if it feels slow or invisible to us. The person waiting for a dream job might not get it today, next week, or even next month, but every step they take, every skill they build, every connection they make is part of the preparation.
God is orchestrating the details, connecting the dots, and ensuring that when the right moment comes, everything will fall into place seamlessly.
The patience we build while waiting is part of the process, part of the work we cannot see but will one day witness. Think about your own life for a moment. All the times you doubted yourself, all the times you felt lost, all the times you prayed and felt unheard, God was working. Maybe He was teaching you resilience. Maybe He was steering you away from harm. Maybe He was waiting for you to grow into the person capable of handling what was coming next. Even when you feel like nothing is moving, your life is moving. Even when you feel stuck, doors are quietly opening. Even when you feel unseen, God is aligning your path with His purpose. What feels like silence today may be the loudest preparation you will ever experience. The loudest. So, when you feel frustrated, impatient, or hopeless, remember this: You are not alone, and nothing is wasted. Every effort you make, every tear you shed, every prayer you whisper is being noticed and woven into your future. God is not silent, He is working even when you cannot see it. Trust the process, trust your journey, and trust that everything happening right now is building the life you are meant to live. The sprout will break through the soil, the dream will manifest, the blessing will arrive. God's work is quiet, but it is relentless, and it is always for you. When you start to believe this deeply, a shift happens. You stop feeling desperate. You stop doubting your worth. You stop giving up too early. You start trusting that even when the world seems still, God is moving, God is preparing, and God is arranging your life in a way that is perfect, powerful, and full of purpose. And in that trust, your strength grows, your hope expands, and your life begins to align with the destiny that has always been waiting for you. There are moments in life when it feels like the world is closing in on you. You've tried everything you can, given your all, and yet nothing seems to work. The relationship you cherished has ended. The career opportunity you fought for slipped through your fingers. The dream you spent years building seems out of reach, and in those moments it's easy to feel like it's the end. Your mind tells you that this is it, that your chances are gone, that the story of your life has reached its final chapter. But here's the truth that can change everything. This is not the end of your story, not even close. What feels like a dead end is often the beginning of a new chapter that you cannot yet imagine, a chapter filled with hope, growth, and unexpected blessings. Look at anyone you admire, the people whose lives inspire you, whose success feels almost unreachable. They all have chapters in their stories that seemed impossible at the time. Every one of them has faced moments of failure, heartbreak, rejection, and despair. Yet none of them stopped writing their story. The person who seems unstoppable today was once on the verge of giving up, questioning their worth, and feeling lost. What separates those who succeed from those who surrender is the understanding that setbacks are temporary, that struggles are not permanent, and that endings are often disguised beginnings. Think about daily life. A student who fails an exam may feel like their future is ruined. Young professional passed over for a promotion may feel like they've reached a dead end. A parent who struggles to make ends meet may feel hopeless. In the moment, it is easy to focus only on what is lost, what went wrong, and what is beyond reach. But every ending carries within it the seeds of a new beginning. The exam failure teaches lessons about discipline and preparation, preparing the student for greater success next time.
The missed promotion may redirect the professional toward a career path more aligned with their purpose.
The financial struggle may teach patience, resourcefulness, and perseverance that become the foundation for future prosperity. Endings are not final. They are redirective. Ends, nudges, and lessons that make the next chapter stronger, wiser, and more meaningful. Even in the simplest moments of daily life, endings lead to beginnings. Think of a friendship that has drifted apart. At first, it feels like loss. But over time, you realize that letting go made space for new relationships. Relationships that bring joy, support, and alignment with the life you're building. Or consider a hobby or project that didn't work out. The disappointment is real, but it often clears the way for a passion or purpose you hadn't even considered, one that resonates more deeply with who you truly are. Life constantly turns endings into openings. What looks like closure today is often the preparation for something far greater tomorrow. It's also important to understand that time is part of the story. Just because you haven't arrived at your desired outcome yet doesn't mean you never will. Life is a series of chapters, each with its own trials, lessons, and triumphs. The protagonist of your story is not defined by one difficult chapter. They are defined by the resilience, courage, and persistence to keep moving forward despite the challenges. Every time you choose to rise after failure, to keep trying after rejection, to continue believing when hope feels distant, you are proving that your story is far from over. Consider a personal example. Perhaps you started a business and it failed. The first thought is devastation, lost money, lost effort, lost confidence. But over time, you learn lessons about management, about people, about yourself. You take those lessons and apply them to your next venture. That failure becomes the training ground for success, and eventually, that same person who once faced defeat launches a thriving business, impacts lives, and achieves their goals. This is life's way of reminding you that endings are not permanent. They are preparation for a brighter, stronger, more purposeful chapter. Life's unexpected twists often carry the greatest blessings. You may not see them coming. You may resist them, doubt them, or feel frustrated. But the truth is, God's plan is greater than our understanding. When you feel like your story is ending, it is often the universe or God's guidance setting the stage for something beyond your imagination. That lost job, that failed attempt, that heartbreak, they are not punishments. They are the necessary steps that guide you to the chapter of your story where your strength, wisdom, and resilience shine the brightest. They are leading you to the moments that will define your greatness. So, when life feels heavy, when doors seem closed, when dreams feel shattered, remember this: you are not finished. Your story is still being written. The challenges you face today are not your ending. They are the plot twists that make your journey meaningful. The setbacks you encounter are the catalysts that make your next successes even sweeter. Your life is a story of resilience, faith, and perseverance, and you are capable of continuing, evolving, and thriving. Endings are temporary. Endings are temporary. Your story is eternal. Every morning, when you wake up, you are given the chance to write a new page. Every decision you make, every step you take, every act of courage is another sentence in your story. Even when the night feels long and the future uncertain, your story continues. Your story is not over. It cannot be over because the force, the purpose, and the divine guidance within you are stronger than any obstacle, stronger than any setback, and stronger than any moment of despair. Hold on, keep writing, and keep believing. The best chapters of your life are yet to come.